Hey ladies, welcome to module 2. Super excited to get into this with you because we are diving into vision, which is the first point of my method, and I'm going to share with you what it looks like from an overall standpoint, and then we're going to get into that big vision. So this is module 2, how to get clear on the big dream, connect deeply to your zone of genius and raise your conviction. So let me dive into the BIZ voice method. Okay. So this is a 5-step method to choosing who you are created to be and how to get clear on the business, brand or entrepreneurial journey you truly desire. I have designed this specifically for you as a multifaceted creative entrepreneur because it is my pleasure to see you win. That's the bottom line. So we're going to be diving into the Biz Voice method, which is one of my 3 methods. They're all signified around voice. So you will see that quite a bit. So let's dive in. Firstly, why voice, right? Everybody's got a voice. Everybody has a voice. And I mean this literally and quite internally. And from a mentally, even spiritually standpoint, we have this voice and we have this deeper calling and awareness that comes from the power of our voice. And in this journey, like, your voice represents your unique advantage, right? It's your world-changing ability. It's your superpower. It's your money-making magic. It is uncomparable. It holds your genius. It sets you apart, and it is your story. There's so much in your voice, literally and metaphorically. You know, when you speak, there is a vibration that ripples through. It's a divine, beautiful vibration, but there's also your message in your voice, your story in your voice. There's all of these different aspects, and when we get attuned to that, that is going to help us to develop who we are as a person, how we show up, how we are as female leaders, how we are in business, in entrepreneurship, in what we offer, in our messaging, copy, marketing, content. Like it goes on and on. But don't worry, I've made this process simple for you because I really want it to be something that is easy to implement, okay? So in the Biz Voice method, we have 5 steps. Step 1 is identifying the vision, right? Like we said at the beginning of this module, right? We're going to be looking at getting clear on the big dream, connecting deeply to your zone of genius and raising your conviction. So this is what we're doing in this module. Step 2, we're going to dive into offers and what it is that you bring to the table, how you're bringing that to the table, why you're bringing it that way to the table, and looking at pricing your offers and putting them together and what works best for you. Then we're going to be looking at the ideal client, who we're serving. Those offers are for somebody. So we're going to be looking at the ideal client, and actual fact, you're going to be able to build that offer out, look at the ideal client, get clear on who you're serving, and then tweak all your offers to fit who it is that you want to serve, right? Step 4 is credibility. We're going to be looking at how we amplify your credibility, how we show that so that you are known as a trustworthy expert in your field. You are known as a person to go to and have that authority, right? And you get confident in that fact that you are credible. You can do this work. And then the last step is to educate. We're educating our audience. We're educating the people around us that this is what you're moving into, that this is what you're doing. And, you know, as you're pivoting from the place that you're currently at into that next level up, place, you're educating yourself in that as well. Because, you've had this past thinking and that's where you've been, but where you're going to requires a different way of thinking, working and doing, okay? So your vision, like we said, this is getting you clear on the big dream, connecting you deeply to your zone of genius and raising your conviction. So some people go their whole lives never truly knowing what their purpose is. They never know because they never seek. And because they never seek, most of their days are usually lived out lacking depth and experiencing chronic feelings of emptiness. But I want to tell you that that's not you. You were made for greatness, right? And the very fact that you're here means that you are serious, you mean business about activating purpose, about seeking after your purpose and getting clear on that. And we're doing that through the depth, we're doing the deep work, we're going on the journey. So no chronic feelings of emptiness for you, okay? So the first place I always like to start in this is desires. It's one of my favorite topics to teach on because it's so thorough and it's so beautiful. And we touched base on it a little bit in module 1, but now we're going to go ham in module 2, okay? So desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have or wishing for something to happen. So let's study this for a moment. True desire represents the urge of life, seeking a fuller expression, and is kept alive by the continuous expectation of its fulfillment. It brings to us the ways and means for its manifestations. The principle explains, no desire is truly felt until the supply is ready to appear. No mind can be conscious of a need or desire unless the possibility of its fulfillment already exists. The text is telling us, right, when you tap into a desire, when that desire even taps into you, it shows itself, it reveals itself, your heart speaks to you, you feel burning inside, you feel moving inside, there's something that you're wanting, it's coming up. That is a key that's telling you it's ready. It's ready to be fulfilled. It expects fulfillment. It expects you to move into it. And as you move, it makes way for it. Things start coming to you that step into place so that that desire can be fulfilled. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This could go either way, right? If you're dwelling on something negative, it's doing the same thing. But when you get heart connected to a deep desire, I'm talking about the whispers from God, something special happens and the fulfillment is waiting to come into place, right? So no mind can be conscious of a need or a desire unless the possibility of its fulfillment already exists. It means what you want already exists. So let's raise conviction and build resilience towards what we say we truly want. So I want you to go on this journey right now. You're going to write a desires list. You're going to list out all the things that you want. And these can be materialistic things. These can be things in your business. These could be things in your family. But I want you to be as clear as possible. Not just, I want to be happy. Okay, well, what does that look like, right? What's the depth of that? I want you to get super clear on what that means, right? So one way we can do this is answering the question. If I'm being honest, or finishing the sentence, if I'm being honest with myself, the things I desire in life are. What are those things? I want you to take a moment and to write that down. If I'm being honest with myself, the number one thing I need to get the results I want is, think about, what do you need in your life? What needs to happen? It can be from the, I need to take an hour a day to myself. I need to work on my business an hour a day. I need to email that agent that I've been wanting to. I need to reach out to those podcast hosts. I need to set up my podcast thing, my podcast station, right? Whatever it is, I want you to just write that down. And it's okay if you don't know the how. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you desire, what you actually want. So, in order for me to bring in insert desire, I would need to think insert thought process. How do you get to be thinking about bringing in that desire? So I want you to take a moment and fill that out. So let's talk about your zone of genius, right? Which shows up like a thread in all you do. So we don't want to be talking about whether you coach or whether you consult or whether you perform on stage or whether you write this, or we're not talking about that at the moment. But we're talking about the thread. So everywhere you go and everything you do, there is your zone of genius shows up. So if we're thinking about what is your zone of genius, what is that thread that you have? So before we dive in, I want to just go through excellence versus genius, because I think that a lot of people sit in a zone of, I want this to be excellent, I want this to be top level, when really it's perfection. But the difference between excellence versus genius. Now, people will pay you for excellence and we want to have a great standard, but you can charge double when you access your zone of genius. Why? Because nobody else can fulfill that. So excellence, the quality of being outstanding or extremely good, which is great, right? It's a beautiful thing. Genius, exceptional intellectual or creative power or other natural ability. Now, I just want you to just process with me. Exceptional, that's the top level. It's higher than excellence in my opinion. But exceptional intellectual, that's your thought process, right? Or creative power. Imagine creative power. That is your genius. Or natural ability. What that tells me is that your creative power is a natural ability that you have. Only you have it. Okay, some people might be able to do a similar thing, but they cannot do it like you. So I want you to really hold on to that. What is that creative power that comes natural to you? When you think about what you're good at, what is that underlining tone that is evident anywhere that you go and whatever it is that you do? It shows up. It's part of who you are. Example. My creative genius is I am able to choreograph other people's vision to life whilst empowering them to own their voice. Now, there are loads of other things I do in that process, but this is what stands out the most, and this is what makes me stand out. My ability to choreograph other people's vision and bring it to life whilst empowering them to own their own voice. Then when we think about what are all the ways you display this area of genius, let me give you an example. Here's some of the ways I display my level of genius. Physical choreography, right? I work in a scene and I physically choreograph. Coaching people, challenging thought processes, speaking, writing. Some of those are the actionable things, are the ways that I deliver that zone of genius, okay? So there's going to be other things in there, but we just want to hone in. This is going to help you down the line. Trust me. So just hone into that. So when you think about what you're good at, what is the underlining tone that is evident anywhere that you go and whatever it is that you do? And what are all the ways you display this area of genius? So you can go ahead and pause the video and answer that question. Now, I love this question, right? Because it just brings up so much. What do people say that you're good at? What do people say that you're good at that you feel comes easy to you? What's that easy thing that just flows in and people say that you're good at? Another way to look at this is, what do people pick your brains for? What do they want to come and pick your brains for? So let's dive into big picture thinking. Imagine. Okay, I want you to really go on this journey. Imagine 1 year from now, right? Whatever date that this is that you're doing this module, imagine exactly 1 year from now. Where are you? Now, I want to invite you to close your eyes on this journey and to really hone into that. You don't actually have to write anything down yet, or if you want to visualize and then write down, do what feels good for you. But where are you 1 year from now? What does it feel like? What's the air like where you are? What are the smells like where you are? Are you surrounded by anything? Who are you with? Are there any other voices with you? People speaking in the background? How much money are you making? 1 year from now, how much money are you making? Think about that right now. Your bank account is overflowing with how much? You can think about what could make a difference, or you can think about what you just deeply desire right now. How much money are you making? And how are you spending your money? What are you spending it on? What kinds of things? What kinds of places? Where's it going? What kind of work are you doing in the world? Just imagine some of that work that you're doing, where you're showing up in the world and the work that you are doing, the impact that you are making 1 year from now. And where in the world are you doing it? Are you in your hometown, home country? Are you somewhere else? Who is benefiting from that work? Who is benefiting? Where is that work making a difference? Or who is that making a difference for? Now, I want you to take some time. If you weren't writing it down in the process, I want you to take a pause and write down what is coming up for you. Like, write down what you saw, write down what you heard, write down who you were with, and write down what's coming up for you. How is it making you feel seeing that? Knowing that that's part of the vision. That's the 12-month vision. What's coming up for you? When you think about the amount of money you want to make, when you think about where you're spending your money, when you think about the type of work you're doing in the world and who's benefiting from it, when you think about who you're with and where you are, what are you sensing and feeling? So take some time to journal that through. And I just want to congratulate you for getting to the end of module 2. Sometimes this work can feel very unpicking and testing and all of those kinds of things, but you've just done your first visualization. You've just tapped into your imagination, and now you get to write that down. That's the 12-month vision, okay? And it wasn't about us, sitting in this space of like, let me make this up and write down what I think I want. This is why we get still and we allow the thoughts to come, and we dwell into that and go deeper into that, so we can see what's really coming up in our heart. And sometimes we can be surprised and shocked at what we hear or what we see, okay? And so I want you to lean into that. And if you want to share that, you can do that in our community group. I want to hear what came up for you. I want to be able to support you because it's a beautiful thing. Okay, I'll see you in the next module.